Welcome to another episode of the Breaking Into Tech Sales podcast. Today's episode is a client interview. DJ Arnie went from auto sales to tech sales in just 53 days, and he landed an 80K fully remote job. Now, what's crazy about DJ's story is this man actually found out him and his wife were having their first kid when we first met. So he was already on the fence about making this career transition. I don't know anything about tech. I've just been selling cars my whole life. And he jumps into Sword. We help him go get started. But then I get a note, hey man, we're pregnant. So the pressure was on to help him get a good job that would allow him to be a present provider for his wife and new child. And then I get a message from him like a week later saying that he decided to quit his car job so that he could jump into this full time. And it's because of that level of commitment and intensity, he was able to do this in just 53 days. So I'm really excited for you guys to hear his story, maybe work through some of the psychology, the fear, the uncertainty he was facing as all of these big life events were converging. But it's also an encouragement to you that nothing changes in your life until you do. So if you don't like what you're doing right now, you've got to commit to drastic change to get the result you're looking for. And I'm here to help you do that. I've got 2 resources linked below. The first one is a free guide that shows you step by step how to go get a great job in tech sales in the next few weeks. But if you're like DJ and you're tired of waiting, you don't want the uncertainty of what if I don't get a job in the next few weeks? What if I pick a bad company? I need to make money for my family. If I'm going to do this, I know I need to do it quickly. Well, that's where my team will be more than happy to help you as you navigate this space. So the second link you're going to see below is a link to meet with my team. And we're going to work together on that call to figure out if we're able to help you do this or not. Our average right now is 34 days. So when we first work with someone 34 days later, on average, they've got an 80 to 90K fully remote tech sales role. So whether you are ready to dive in that quickly or you're going to go through the free guide, I wish you so much luck. I don't know if it's luck though, because God is good and his plans for your life are amazing. So I just pray that you'll be dedicated, disciplined, and that you will get some value out of this episode. So for those of us who don't really know you, your background, all of that, what was life like for you before Sword? I know you're in car sales. What about that path wasn't good for you long term when you looked at tech sales and said, that might be better?
Overall, it was a general salary itself. I mean, with the car selling industry, you kind of start at zero every single month. You've got a draw you got to get out of. There's a
Yeah.
few places that do offer a salary, things of that nature, but not a 60K base salary. And then you're able to get even more on top of that with an OTE of 80K. I mean,
Mm,
there's no incentive to that's going to be exactly what you're going to make in the car industry. Whereas ed tech is which is what I'm in. So
mhm. Yeah.
that's a whole lot more stability. I mean, I didn't have time for family. I didn't have time for friends before now. I mean, I'm going to be able to get off at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm
Wow.
going to be working a normal 9 to 5 versus a 9 to 8 or a 9 to 9 or something of that nature.
And were
So
you having to work weekends too? Were you on the
yes,
lot? Okay.
yes. I mean, every Saturday. I mean, we were there. We cut the hours back 2 hours, but we were still there from 9 to 6 on a Saturday, every
Oh
Saturday.
man. What because I know, and we're gonna get to some exciting news in a minute just about your family and stuff, but what impact did that have on you and your wife, like maritally, with you being gone that much?
It was a stressor. I mean, even before that, I was a chef. I was a sous chef at a local restaurant here in Lexington, so that was very time consuming as well. She was in school then, and I was doing work, so I mean, we were seeing each other a couple hours a day. Whereas
Mm,
now she gets off somewhere around 3:30 to 5 o'clock. I'm able to cook dinner for us. I'm able to go to the store and not feel wiped out because I just worked an 11-hour shift, then go to the store, then come home and cook and not even get to eat till 10 o'clock. Whereas now we're back on a normal schedule of being able to eat by 7:30. And it's a
man.
cooked meal versus having to go to the fast food restaurant right down the street.
Yeah. So getting that time back alone is probably worth the change itself. But not only did you get the time back, but now that you've got a very stable base income, you've got the consistency. And, I won't get too far ahead of myself, but I will say, like, your family's growing, right?
It is. It
And
is very,
so,
very much. We're very excited. We're through the first trimester, or in fully on into the second one, and found out our first due date is actually my birthday.
no
So
way, dude. What?
yes, like,
Oh
she
my
looked at it.
goodness.
She goes, "Well, it's due on this date," and I was like, "You gotta be kidding me! That's my birthday." And Blair looked at me and she was like, "Oh my goodness!" So found out
Dude,
on Valentine's Day and gonna have the baby on my birthday, hopefully.
well, congrats to you and Blair, man. And I remember the first time I found out we were having our first, man, the fire of it felt like heaven just hit me of like, holy crap, I have to provide for a kid now.
Right.
Um, and I can imagine for you, man, tech sales was brand new. Like I don't think you had ever heard of it before you met me. So you're jumping into a brand new industry you barely know anything about, right? You're taking a bet on like an online coach, which can be sketchy sometimes because there's some sketch balls out
I
there.
met you.
And you find out you guys are pregnant with your first kid. Like, what was your psychology like going through that much change back to back? Were you uncertain? Were you nervous? Were you a bit afraid? Like, how did you feel?
It was definitely a bit of afraid, bit of nervousness, but I mean, I had already switched careers before. So I
Mm,
had already gone from that sous chef career and managed my way into the car selling career there in the automotive industry. So I'd already done the jump previously to another career.
mhm.
So I knew that it could be done. I mean, I'm 34 years old, so I mean, if I had gotten this, everybody says if I got in doing this when I was 20, where would I be now? But I mean,
Mm,
I'm just now getting into it. It's very exciting. Where I'm working at, gosh, I can feel like I can make a great impact for sure.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's really what's exciting about this as well is not only am I selling a product, but I'm also impacting people while selling that product.
Yeah. It's a great point about being 34. Let's say you start at 24, right? That's like maybe average entry age because people are coming out of college and whatever. 10 years in tech sales, if you're not making more than 250, 300K, 10 years in tech sales, you're doing something wrong. In fact, I'll be bold enough to say like you should be making 300K minimum as kind of the average of being 10 years in. So, man, yeah, could you have started 10 years ago? Who cares? Like God put you on this path in this timeline, and 10 years from now, when your child is 10 years old, you're going to be in a position where money's not a thing. Like it's just you've got the resources.
Exactly.
Wow. Okay, so tell me a little bit about how you came across Sword and like why ultimately did you pick to work with me in the Sword program? Because there's other boot camps, there's other coaches. Like why Sword? How did you even find us?
I was scrolling through TikTok, scrolling through Instagram one day, and like I told you before in our first interview, I mean, it took me a couple months to really say, this is what I want to dig down into. This is what I want to invest my money into, and hopefully get something out of this. I had looked at wholesale and real estate. I'd looked at high ticket sales, something of that nature, but none of it really came with a great stability, which is what led me to tech sales, which is what led me to you. I mean, I did quite a few vettings of a couple different people. I don't even remember who they were at this point because we've been in contact for so long now. But it felt right. I mean, listening to your 1 hour video, how you're a very godly person, how you just did not seem like you were fake. You seemed
Mm.
very, very legit in everything that you were saying. And then going through the program itself, you are that guy. You are legit. And it's just very, very humbling to know that there are people out there that are actually there to help you. They're not
Yeah.
there just to take on some money. They're not there just to say, "Hey, here's a little bit of information. You got what you paid for. Now skedaddle." It's
Mm.
a great, great program, and like I said, would not be in a position that I am in without it right now.
Man, I'm honored to hear that and I'm proud to hear that because I know there are bad actors out there. There's like some bad experiences. Heck, I've been part of some of them. Like one program I was like, "What the heck? What did I pay for? This sucks." Um so what would you tell that guy who's on the fence, right? Maybe they are in car sales or they're doing real estate. They want something more consistent, more stable, but they're not sure about tech sales. And then they're definitely not sure about some sketch ball like me popping up on Instagram telling them they're going to go get a job. Like, what do you
Right.
tell a guy like that who's on the fence?
It's kind of like I go back to your first video. of choose your hard. And my chose was to work from home while doing sales. I know I can do sales. Why would I spend it somewhere else for 11 hours a day? Choose my heart of being at home. It's not going to be an easy job. It is sales. So choose your heart of what you want to do. And if it makes more sense to do your heart from home, then do that.
Mm.
Do it
Choose your
from a
heart.
yes. That was
Heck
the
yeah.
main thing that stuck out to me.
Yeah, I agree, man. That's like life. We're given free will, given choice. We get to choose. That's wisdom right there. I think that's going to help someone. And then what about specific to someone on the fence with me, right? Maybe they do want to do tech sales. They know that, but they're like, dude, these online coaches, it's all a ripoff. What do you tell a guy like that?
One, you're not a ripoff by no means. I mean, you're going to be there from step one to the very end, like you're doing with me right now. You're there to answer any questions that we have. You've never made me feel stupid or anything of that nature with anything I've asked. It's always been, hey, here's the link to it. Here's exactly where you can find it. Here's an answer to all of your questions. I mean, whether it was the Chat GPT prompt that wasn't working at the time, well, hey, here's an extra link. Click this, see if that works. You were always there when I needed you.
Mm.
And even when I didn't need you at sometimes, you were there to chime in and say, "Hey, you're doing a great job. Keep pushing through this. You've got this." Because I
Mm.
mean, you saw me. I struggled a little bit with some of the cold calling and with some of the cold emails, things of that nature. But once you had a little bit more, I needed a little bit more guidance, and you were there to really hone that in and really get me to where I could be a great interviewer and to get a good job, to get
Heck
something
yeah.
that I actually felt meaningful and could make an impact at, not just another job.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I knew it for you. I was like, DJ's got no problem. It's just going to be a matter of time of finding the right company. That's all it came down. Once we got like the skill set in place and we taught you the process and here's how you cold call, here's how you prospect, how you apply, you were just executing day in, day out, super communicative. And that's what it takes. It takes consistency. And so it was just a matter of God opening the right door at the right time. And that's why you are
Yep.
where you are. So congrats. Um, what is it like working one on one with me? Like, is there anything specific that sticks out about my coaching style or maybe a favorite part about working with me one on one?
Always being very excited about it. Like you're never like, oh, I've had a tired day. I'm just gonna say okay to his message. You're always there to uplift me and always move me forward. You're never there to just plateau. You were always coaching me to go up that hill even further to get to that spear.
That's good. I think of the fountains versus drains perspective, right? Like, which are you? Are you pouring life into others or are you draining life away? So I appreciate that. Aside from you landing this job, 80K, fully remote, great company, 53 days, something to be proud of for sure. But aside from that, what are you personally most proud of accomplishing or developing in, or maybe somewhere you grew as a result of going through Sword?
Learning a full other career itself. Like that was challenging at first. I mean, I know I'm not fully done with this career. I know I'm still starting it fresh and new, but I feel like I have learned how to sequence people. I know how to do a little bit more cold calling in the way that tech sales needs cold calling. I can do cold emails now where I'm able to actually get over my presentation and show them an effective way to get a response. So it's just been amazing how I've been able to manage those skills within 53 days. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
those skills that I learned while looking for an interview are now going to transfer into the job itself.
Yeah. Yeah, they 100% will, man. That's why we say do the job to get the job. Because the best thing I can leave you with in your new job is the skill set to keep the job. Do the job to get the job to keep the job. That's the new motto. So, all right, man. Well, there's other people on their job search right now. They're trying to get these tech sales roles. You know it's competitive, right? What
Very.
uh what advice would you give those people? Like what specifically did you learn in Sword, or is there a technique, or is there something specific you could give them that would actually help them go get a job?
Try and talk to as many people in that company as possible.
Mm.
Like, get on the LinkedIn, see who's in charge of, well, not necessarily the hiring manager, the BDR manager, the SDR manager. Look for the acquisition folks. Look for the people that are looking for extra talent acquisition folks on there. Not just don't just go for the BDRs. Don't just go for the manager because they're sometimes not even going to be the one looking at it. The hiring people are going to be the ones looking at who the next person is on here. There's no telling how many people, how many hiring folks that I contacted that actually reached back out versus the BDR manager versus the SDR manager because that's not on their radar
Yeah. That's
unless
a
they're
really good
physically
point.
hiring themselves.
That's a really good point. It's almost like you're doing the work anyway to apply to a company. So if you're already researching the company and then you go find the manager, you might as well just go grab one or two of the recruiters as well while you're there. Because to your point, you're going to widen your reach like a bigger fishing net, and you're increasing the odds that you get a reply or a bite from someone. Another title I'd throw in there is AEs. Hit up
Hmm.
AEs at these companies because they were once SDRs. They know the grind, the hustle, and if they see you reaching out, then they're going to be like, "Oh, wow, I remember when I was an SDR. Let me help this person out. They seem like they're
Right.
working hard." So, yeah, that's great advice. And I think if we can widen the net, we increase the odds of replies. But DJ, man, I am so proud of you. I think your ability to just like execute is amazing because these were major life events, right? At one point, I think we were what? Were we 2 or 3 weeks in when you said, "Hey, I'm going to leave my current job"? Like, walk me through what was that like when you made that decision, and what gave you confidence to leave your job?
Um, One, I had to. I mean, there was no ifs, ands, buts about it. It was detrimental for me to stay there any longer.
Mm,
Not necessarily that it was a bad vibe, nothing like that, but it was stressing me out to a point that it was just not fun at home. The life was not fun at home. My wife was saying, "Are you okay?" all the time, and I'm just silent.
mm,
Whereas, I mean, it was not easy by any means.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So you were in a position where you're like, I would rather kind of risk it here and go all in on this tech sales job search than stay at this job I'm miserable at. It
Right,
sounds
and
like.
there was no time to do that either. There was no time to switch into a career while being at this career as well.
Mm,
So I felt like I was kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place of I've got to get out of here before I can find something else.
mm,
Because it was
mm.
just so time consuming that I mean 11 hours there and then to be able to I wouldn't be able to do this until 8 o'clock at night. No one's going to respond to a guy calling them at 8, 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone can morning.
yeah. Yeah, man, I just applaud your ability to look fear in the face and say, I'm going to go anyway. Because so many people, and I've been like this at times in my life, we prefer the comfort of captivity because at least it's known, right? But the unknown is leaving your job, leaving your income to jump into a brand new industry you don't really know much about. And that is what it takes, like that level of commitment to see the change you saw. So, man, way to be a leader for your family. And you're going to be an incredible father, and you're already an incredible husband. So, thank you for being someone I can look up to as well, man. I'm really proud of you.
I appreciate that, Jack. I really do.
100%. Cool, man. Well, congrats. We've got DJ at 53 days, 80K fully remote role. Congrats, man. You're going to crush it.
I appreciate it, man. It was a killer experience.